Hello, 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 and welcome to the No Faces Comic Chat. I'm your host, Bub, and with me, as always, the one, the only, they might have been triplets, but he kicked the other two out of the womb, DS Comics.
What is up? Good to be here, Bub. Good to see you, sort of. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on here, so yeah, this is exciting. Good times.
To be fair, even when people do see me in person, they always say, good to see you, sort of.
So, well, if I saw you in person, it'd definitely be good to see you.
Good deal. And hanging out in the wings, we've got Roger. Roger, I sent you the link via email. I sent it via IG, and I'm gonna fax it to you at the halfway point in the show. Let's see if you can get it that way. I'm all out of carrier pigeons this week. Apologize, Roger. But I'll make up for it next week. So I sent it via email though. I just sent it. So see if you can click that and come on.
Yeah, I think part of the problem, and this was a problem for me initially until I figured it out, is that when you drop the link in like an Instagram chat for somebody or an Instagram DM or message,
yeah,
you got to click the link on the top and not like the middle of it where there's the picture and the logo.
Yeah, not the picture.
If you click the logo, it just brings you to the StreamYard page. If you got to click the text link up top.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't have time to put all that in an email. But he's on his way. So we'll go ahead and start off with our their current events. That it was a sad day for the YouTube. Oh well, look what happened here. Dorothy's landed in Oz.
There he is.
Hey guys,
what's up?
How's it going?
That link did not want to paste no matter what the heck I did.
Oh man. Sorry.
All right, I got it.
I'm sure you'll figure it out for next week.
Man, I've done it 100 times, but just today it wouldn't work. Anyway, great to be on.
Glad to have you.
To be back.
Welcome,
here.
Roger, to the stream. Co-host of the No Faces Comic Chat. There you go.
Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
That's all right. Before we get to our hot topic of the night, we'll talk about Unruly Simeon being in the house. What's going on? Las Cruces, 1971. Dalsman Comics, formerly of Brett Bottomley Incorporated. So good to have you, Brett. Welcome. He's putting out some comic related. Now, he had some videos up once upon a time of his very unique instrument work. So he's a musician. So he had some of that going on. But now we've got some comic materials going to be coming out. So be on the lookout for that. Dalesman Comics, a good supporter of the comic community. So glad to have you. Bigglesworth here as well. Welcome back, Bigglesworth. I always miss you when you're not here. From Heroes to Icons is here. Bigglesworth, yeah, gotcha. The Gray Man is here all the way from across that murky pond. Werewolf by Lunchtime, all the way coming from Perth. Welcome from Perth. Let's see. Benny Compton's in the house. Glad he could make it. Let's see. DS Comics is here somehow. Oh my gosh. It was going to be $5 until Roger showed up.
Oh, man.
Well, he's still at $3
yesterday. He's all salty. I know him.
There's two.
There we go. There's a couple of Lindas. And we'll throw in my personal favorite. You get an extra in. Look at that.
Oh, you got 4 for 3. Nice.
Four for the price of 3.
I still like the half off. The half off's the best deal.
I know, but I could watch this one all day. The half off makes me feel sorry for someone. I'm not sure if it's the Gorilla or if it's Wonder Woman, but all right.
Well, I don't know. I feel like for that one, it's a good compromise between the both of them. They made a nice compromise.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, Z Collects in the house. What's going on, Z? Good to have you. Sean's here. Slim Comics and more. Thank you, good sir. The Comic Collector is here as well. Another Tim in the community. There's a lot of Tims. There's a lot of Mikes. You guys notice that?
Yeah.
A lot of Tims and Mikes.
In the world?
In the comic community. In our little nook of the world.
Yeah.
There are.
Might be. Uh-oh. Here's the remaining $2. Oh, too kind. Too kind. He's going to get the old reliable here. There it is. Congratulations. Thank you for dropping that pair on us there, Z. We appreciate you, brother. So we have a big show for you tonight. So we're going to start off with our hot topic. We'll go 3-way box for this. Oh man, nobody knew that was going to happen. Then everyone starts adjusting their cameras like, oh, wait a minute. I can get this just right. All right. So we're going to talk about our hot topic tonight, which is where did I put it? I don't know. Where did I put that? Well, I can't find it. All right. Oh, there it is. The hot take. We lost a great community staple today, and it wasn't a person. No one died, but Comics with Bueller gave their last episode of I don't know what they're calling it these days, but I think it's just comics and it used to be comics and coffee.
Comics and coffee, yeah.
But now I think it's just comics and coffee, yeah.
Right.
So they get, every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, they would premiere Bob and Bueller would premiere a nice little video. Took about an hour or so, and go over comic topics and a little bit of banter and show some comic books and plug all their various advertisers. So it was really quite heartwarming, good stuff. I'm gonna miss that as an option every week. I didn't always catch every week, but it certainly was something that I look forward to. And if it was a topic that I thought I'd really like, then I'd watch it. I'd try and listen to it at work and stuff like that. So that's going to be missed. And good time with Bueller. He's going on to some new things with his Bueller bus. So we wish him well. Bob will probably fade back into obscurity, so we miss him. No.
Hopefully not.
He's got a lot going on his channel too. So congratulations to them. They're episode 150 of the new Comics and Coffee video. So we appreciate that. Great show. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Yep. Here, the new Comic and Coffee. The coffee. You say it then. You're so good at it.
Yeah, that's a great run there by, it used to be just Bueller, and he would have like guests every once in a while. And then Bob came in, and like I like you, I didn't catch it all the time, probably more often not than yes, but it was a very emotional show today. So I was there, and it was a great send off. It really was a real appropriate kind of send off. You can tell both of them care about each other quite a bit, and they're going to miss each other, and we're going to miss them.
Yeah, 150 is about 3 years worth of episodes, because I don't even think he skipped any, honestly. And I remember when Bueller started, I had just started YouTube previous to that, and then Reggie got on and Bueller got on, and I remember Bueller's first video about pet peeves, and just instantly exploded in popularity just from just the way he looks at things and talks about comics. It was just so unique and fun. And the Comics and Coffee, our Coffee and Comics, I watched probably 3 of those ever. And look, I'm not a morning person. By the time I get up and look at my YouTube feed at noon, okay, there's 500 videos have been uploaded. So, it's not something I would ever call it live. And, I've watched a few of them. I've watched a lot of Bueller videos overall. I probably call a few of those. But, yeah, that's impressive. You go 150 shows. That is a long run. That's a lot of work. Like, he didn't just throw those together either.
No.
Right? And he built a set over time. Like, you can watch the early ones, like it evolved. A lot of work put into that show. Quite impressive.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
And the proof is the appreciation of it. So many people enjoyed it, and it's well revered as one of the best ongoing series shows on YouTube, especially for one that's not live. There's a lot of live shows like the crap we're putting out tonight, but no, but you know what I mean. I mean, there's effort put into this stuff too, trust me, but there's nothing like having to produce the show and edit it and go through the whole routine every single week. Is very difficult to do. It's a lot of work, and and to have it at a high level like he had. So I just wanted to say to Comics with Bueller and to Bob, and just tell them thanks for all the fun and for the good times that show provided, and look forward to seeing what you guys do next individually, and for the various reunion shows I'm sure they'll have over the years of them getting back together. And and Bueller's going to be riding this bus, but I mean, it's like the oldest barmaid at the rodeo. She ain't gonna be riding it forever. So I'm sure Bueller will be back inside of some sort of covered hut over the next few years when he parks the bus. So we're looking forward to some of these shows maybe getting revivals down the road. So yeah, appreciate that. So anything else you guys want to talk about this fine evening?
Yeah, I'll mention something just because I'm seeing more and more of it, and it's getting retardeder and retardeder the more I see it. And that is these NFT comics.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Look, people.
I don't think we got enough time for this.
I know. This is a quick
That's
rant.
a whole topic by itself. Yeah.
Look, especially I'm just going to be narrow. I can go on about NFTs for days. If anybody wants to hear me talk about it, hit me up. But the VV marketplace, the VV comics, man, talk about a scam. They don't even, you can deposit money and then you buy their little gems, which is like their version of their system money or ecosystem money that you use to buy pictures of comics. I guess you can read them. They're digital reprints of whatever. And you can't ever cash out, but that's coming. It's been coming for well over a year or something. They've been working. Like, how hard is it to make it cash out? Like, every freaking app in the world lets you cash out instantly, like as soon as it starts. This one doesn't.
Right.
And it's loaded with bots where they do these drops with the new comics, and nobody can get one on the drop. It's just bots, people downloading bots to score them all. And then they go on the marketplace and people are buying them, on the marketplace. And almost, I would say 98% of everybody on there is just speculating to make money. The whole thing is just a ridiculous scam bubble. So please don't waste your money on VV. I mean, NFTs, maybe there's a place for them, but it's not on VV. I'm telling you that. So it's ridiculous. That's it.
Well, here's all I'll say about that. The problem I have with NFTs are, first, to speak on what you mentioned. Yes, I think that if you cannot get your money right back out if there's no cash out mechanism that is a universal standard. So in other words, let's say if you were going to probationary all accounts, to where any purchases made, you cannot cash out within, say, 40 days or 30, 60, 90, whatever you wanted to do, I could understand that, right? Because you're trying to build an investment platform of some kind. But then you have to let them cash out. It has to, the fund has to mature at some point. You should be able to cash that out. And if that doesn't happen, then that smells like a scam. It smells like a Ponzi scheme is what it smells like. Yeah. Because basically I'm left to believe that if you're not letting me cash out, it means that you believe that it makes me believe you don't actually have the money. And if you don't actually have the money to cash me out, then, you're going to have a run in the bank. That's kind of the way I look at it, just in a simple term. Right. So that means that you're taking all the money that I'm spending on these items, right? Heavy quotes on items. And what are you doing with that? You're spending it on advertising, on more licensing, or whatever else you got to do. And then when it comes time for me to get my money back, that's not there because you spent it somewhere else trying to get more people to spend their money. So that's the first problem I got with it. And I agree with you on that. Second problem is that these items that they have, these bots, and I'm not trying to be completely on the side of calling everybody just a bunch of fakers, right? And saying that it's 100% a scam. It could be that it's just still in the making of something bigger. But I think the problem is that because of the nature of a bot itself is trying to be as elusive as possible and is all working on very tight timing, that there's a good chance that these bots are actually generated by the companies that are trying to sell you these rare items.
Yep.
Yeah, that's possible.
You know,
Yep.
so
Makes sense. Yep.
they're saying we've got 100 of these, and they're advertising and advertising and advertising. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Because if you don't hurry up and buy these as soon as you need to be glued to that phone, because if you don't see as the moment these things drop, they're gonna get snatched up. They say by real people, and then they run a bot at a millisecond afterwards and buy up 70% of the market. Now they control the price going forward on that item, because they've affected the rarity and scarcity of that item. So I have a hard time believing that the bots are just a bunch of people sitting in a bunker somewhere trying to get pictures of a AF-15.
Yeah, and they're also, I guess, apparently there's, real statues you can buy, like a Batman statue or a Batgirl statue, like actual statues you can buy from one of these companies that makes really detailed statues. They're having like pictures of those statues. You can buy a picture of the statue. I guess it maybe rotates so you can pretend you're looking at all sides of it. 3-dimensional.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, what are you buying? You're buying a picture of a statue. Like what?
Well,
they have one with Luke Cage, Hero for Hire or something, number 1. And it's like, buy this. And they have variant covers where one's like mostly black and white. And then they do some shitty little like different cover that never existed in Marvel. And it's just... Yeah. And then like, look, if somebody buys something off me and changes their mind and they want a refund after they sent me the money, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm working on refunds. We don't have it yet. Maybe in a year I may have that. What are you kidding me? Like, you can do refunds. Like, you just, the money goes, what? Anybody, I can start an app tonight. I couldn't because I'm technically deficient, but if there was somebody who knew how to do technology, you could build an app tonight with the ability to take money and pay it back out. It's two seconds in today's world to do that. And so the whole
those are dime a dozen. That's easy technology right there.
Yeah, I mean, me and you probably couldn't do it, Roger.
No.
But
we're still working on clicking on links. Okay, give us a break there.
Yeah, that's right. I'm working on the links here. So
I don't know.
There's
and then
a steeper curve over here for me.
The Bored Apes NFTs, where it's literally just a picture of somebody drew of an ape. So it looks like a 5th grader drew it. A talented 5th grader, I'll give you that. And then the picture of the ape is worth $1 million. And then somebody buys a doodle, is another type of NFT where it literally looks like kindergartner drew it, and it's pastel colors, and it's like $800,000. And you're just buying a picture of a drawing that's not even that good. Like, what are these people? What is going on in the world? Is what I'm thinking.
Plus, and you can talk about blockchain and all this other stuff all you want, but it's too easily replicated.
Yeah,
and forged. It's just too easy to take a screenshot of something. I mean, like every 5-year-old with a cell phone has the ability to replicate that picture, that NFT picture. So all you're really paying for is the authenticity of it and the supposed rarity and the supposed scarcity. But realistically, all you have is a picture that's easily replicated.
Well, here's the thing. You're right.
It's difficult for me to swallow.
And here's the thing. You're right. If you take a picture of a Van Gogh and use it for your background, that's cool. But it's not. It's just a picture of something else that's real, and there's only one real one, and you can't make an exact copy of it. Even if you had a master repaint it, it would still be a good-looking reproduction.
Right.
An NFT, these pieces of artwork, which they're not that complicated. Even they're like children's drawings. It's drawn digitally. It never existed in real life. It's just digital. And so if you screenshot it, you literally have the exact same thing. It's not like a photo of it. It's it, because it's a digital image. When you screenshot a digital image and you put both of them on a screen, the screen is showing the same pixels with the same colors and the same resolution. It's identical, literally identical in all sense. And the guy, Steve Aoki, some DJ or something, bought that one for $800,000. And he's using it for his like Twitter picture icon or whatever. All right, so I can screenshot it. Now it's on my phone, and I can use it as my Instagram icon, and it's the same thing, and I got it for free. And it's literally the same thing, because it's not hanging in a gallery or sitting in this comic box somewhere. There's some real problems with this, and I don't know. It's starting to get out of hand. It's kind of fun and annoying at the same time to watch this happen.
It's hard for me to watch people have that level of confidence in something so intangible.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard for me to watch that happen. That's all.
It would make sense. Like I can see NFTs like for there's people creating music digitally. They're not using instruments, and they're becoming popular, and it's good music. You could transfer those audio files, or you could digitize the Beatles library and exist digitally, and you can buy that as an NFT. Contracts, legal contracts can be NFTs. They're locked in the blockchain. They can be created on the computer, passed around, signed, and the final one in digital form.
Yeah, they already have that. Yeah,
NFT.
Yeah, they already have
so
that.
There's uses for NFTs. Drawing a 5-year-old version of a doodle and calling it a doodle and selling it for 800,000 is a scam. It's just ridiculous. And I think a lot of these high-end ones is people trying to launder money and hide it from the IRS and doing sketchy stuff. Is a lot of it too. And it's just, but then the people on the bottom are getting scammed and they don't realize it. And I've done a couple posts on my Instagram page, and I've received some hate from some people in DMs. And
no.
Yeah. I welcome
I,
it.
for one,
I don't really care. But yeah, people have DM'd me to tell me how terrible person I am, and people will comment on the post and bash it. Whatever. Do what you want, but I'm just telling you, there's some problems out there. Just stick to like real stuff. You don't even have to invest in the same stuff I'm investing in. Invest in your own stuff, but just pick something that is real. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
good advice
for the night.
Yeah. And if you're unsure, stick with something that has a somewhat centralized or unified market. If you're buying and trading things that are available on multiple marketplaces, or that there's no standard of conversion between those markets, then that's always a red flag. Not that there aren't people that are going to make money on it. There's always going to be people who make money at every stage of the game. But if you're just a casual investor of anything, you should wait until a market is stable and has a history behind it, and there's a consensus that this market is where most of the business is going to be done. So but with this NFT stuff, there's like 100 different NFT platforms out there.
Yeah.
To be buying and selling and trading for gems and tokens and coins. And if all that is not able to be liquidated and easily transferred amongst those platforms, then you should probably wait until that is, because if this is the next big thing, wait till it becomes the next big thing and then take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people are buying and selling real estate on Sandbox. And what's that other one called? Decentraland is called. It's a ecosystem. It's speculative, but I mean, look, if there's going to be a metaverse that exists that's widely used on Sandbox, for instance, it's still speculative. But if you want to buy land in Sandbox because you think it's going to go up in value, that's speculative. But that even makes a little bit of sense. But the VV marketplace is taking everybody's enthusiasm about a potential speculative new technology that will change the world and preying on people who believe that VV is that. And it's nothing like that. It's just a total scam. I mean, you can step back and look at the VV thing. It's a scam. I mean, you can just look at it and tell. You just open your eyes and see it for what it is. And I'm not saying all the NFTs are, but that definitely is. I don't know.
There you go.
A lot of people.
All right, Roger. Anything you want to shoot at us for a hot take?
Well, not too much. That NFT thing, I really just don't understand how you can give intrinsic value to a digital image. That, I'm old school that way, right? But to me, that there's a time and place for that. There's like we were talking about signing documents that are I've done that many times in my job, but something that they control the scarcity and they control the actual apparatus. If that's not a scam, I don't know what it would be, because it's every red flag possible. But anyway, just in general, I'm just ecstatic, happy that we're all together here. We sit here at a new time. I don't know if you talked about this before I came on.
No.
And that we're here before Kamigori, so it's a great show to sort of do the get in the mood, and then you go to Kamagories where you get the battle and you get all the different, at home picture sending and all that stuff. Here we have more concrete, more, down to earth comic stuff. There is more, excitement of, the covers. So I just thought it's a great idea for us to, be all together at this time, and, and then people can segue into Kamagories afterwards.
Fair enough. I like to think of us as them there hors d'oeuvres, main course, and the dessert. But Roger just wants us to be the guy handing out candy in the van outside of Kamagories. That's okay with me too.
I didn't say that.
I'm just teasing. All right. So the main topic of the evening, does anyone remember what it is? Anyone at all?
You mean the title of the show or the topic?
All right, fine. What's our team name for this evening? Now it's on you, Roger.
Okay. It is the Photoshop Phonies.
Yes, that's correct.
Got it. 100%. Yeah.
That's obviously incorrect. DS, do you remember what our team name was?
It was the ultra exposed insects. The overexposed insects. The overexposed insects.
Oh man.
There it is. It's either the ultra exposed or the overexposed. I'm not sure. But yes, basically we are these. Thank you so much for both your feeble attempts. We are the super shutterbugs. Super shutterbugs. And why are we the super shutterbugs? DS?
Because your favorite type of comic cover is photo covers, and you want to show off all these awesome photo covers tonight.
That is not true. But basically, yes, we're going to be talking about photo covers. To show you what a photo cover is, because it might be the only two you see tonight. This is them their photo cover. I know it breaks the illusion because they all looked so life-size before that, But breaking through there. So this is a photo cover, and this is a photo cover. Now, I define you not to find at least 4 things likable on these covers combined.
Yeah, there's 4.
She's got beautiful eyes.
She does have beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. We have no, we're not the non-fungible freaks. Oh, I mean, we might be.
That's a title.
Might not even be real. We could be bots ourselves. So the idea is that we're going to talk about photo covers because I know that these guys have some strong opinions on them, and we're going to end with. Well, we're not going to start with DS because we know where that's going to lead. But. And I'll go last. All right, go ahead, Roger. What do you think about photo covers, and what are some you like and some you don't?
Yeah, that's a good question, right? Because there are some that I think are well done and have effort behind them, and I'll show you some that I think are pretty good, and others that, well, I'll get to those in a minute. Now, this one I think is pretty good. This one here, this thriller, Boris Karloff. They obviously, it looks to me like they took a still from his show, which he was the host of back in the 60s, and then you see that there's actual art, and then they also put it on the foreground, some lines and some background, some nice shading there, some nice mysterious looking formations, etc. I don't know if you can well, it's hard to see, but it's back there,
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's pretty good, that's pretty good, especially for the comic bears his name, right? Boris Karloff. So I think that's a good one. Let me show you one here, which is like just about as terrible as it gets. It's laughable, DS. It really is. Marvel Team Up 128. Okay. So, this reeks to me of, hey, the cover artist didn't get it in on the deadline. Get the copy boy, get him outside, and get a picture of him in the Cap outfit. And so the Cap guy is it's actually a photograph. The Spider-Man is not. The Spider-Man looks like it's been lifted off of some kind of animation cell. That is not a guy. Look at that. Look at the shading there.
It's not even a good one.
Yeah, correct. But look at the ridiculous costume that this is here. I mean, look at the shiny things on the boots and stuff. It's just terrible. The wings are way too big. I mean, the neck. I mean, there's no chainmail. It's like a satin or something. And then you have exposed over this skyline here of sorts. So that reeks to me of just laziness or perhaps desperation on the side of Marvel. I'll show you one other one which reeks of the same kind of vibe. Amazing Spider-Man 262. Notice it says up here, special issue. Right? Special. No, there's nothing special about this issue. The only thing special is that they grabbed the nephew of Stan Lee or somebody, who knows. They stuck him in a broom closet, and then somebody took a picture of him from the outside. And
yeah, that was going to be my pick for the worst cover of all time.
well,
seriously,
it's up there.
It's comic cover of all time, right there.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. I don't know if something happened and there was a deadline looming. Obviously, a photograph is much easier, much cheaper, much more convenient than having to have a real artist take several hours or a day or whatever to do a cover, submit it, and then you have to put it up, and edit it and so forth, put it through the process of making a cover of it. So it could be something happened, but there's nothing special about this issue. They could have left that out. They could have said, this is the least special issue ever. Okay, fine. But don't say special issue. There's nothing special about this issue. So I'll leave it there for now.
Oh, I see.
I have others, but those are the ones that I feel like talking about right now.
All right. So you don't like photo covers, or you do like photo covers because you just showed about 7 of them.
I showed 3. I showed one which I thought was well done, amalgamated different elements, and I thought 2 which were just lazy and just they just didn't really fit. Especially in the when you're talking about Bronze Age Marvels or Copper Age, they have those really dynamic covers, and then you get this dross. It's just very disappointing.
Fair enough. All right, Diaz, what do you think? Are you for photo covers? Are you against photo covers, and why? And then tell us how much you hate them, and then show 3 of them in your collection, like Roger.
Yeah, I don't have 3. I don't even have 1. But yeah. So look, I'm not opposed to taking risks in life, and whenever you decide to put out a photo cover as a publisher, you're taking a big risk, because it's people want to see drawings by artists, and when you do a photo cover, it usually is just so atrocious. In the 50s, it was very widespread among certain publishers, particularly any publishers that were putting out Westerns, because the TV Westerns were very popular, and those actors playing those characters were very popular. And, they had toys based on the actors and the characters, and the characters and the actors sometimes were interchangeable. So when they did Western comics, often they did photo covers with the actor in character, with his cowboy hat on, holding the gun, or with the horse on there. They're not very collectible today, but they're cool in a way because it reminds you of a time that has since passed when Westerns were big and that was all the rage. And I could see kids grabbing those up. And aside from that, the only photo covers I can think that even have any reason to be there would be like if you put some art in front of a skyline and it's done well, like there's a Daredevil issue or a Submariner issue.
Both. Yeah, it's both.
Yes, there is both. Yeah, both of those actually.
I have a Submariner. I'll show that later.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting collage with a photo and then drawn characters. It's not bad. I mean, they're not great covers, but that's all right. But man, most of the photo covers, I mean, unless you're going to put like Jennifer Love Hewitt on there, or Sarah Michelle Gellar or something, I don't really see the point to it. And it's almost like they're cop-outs. There's just no effort put into them. Like even the skyline on that one that Roger showed, it's not even a skyline. It's like the guy ran outside 10 minutes before the publishing deadline and just stood on a sidewalk, took a picture of the building across the street, and ran back inside. There's no perspective. There's no view. It's just mostly a building you can't even see the top of. Yeah, mostly they're terrible. And that Spider-Man 262, I think, is the worst comic book cover of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's up there. It's up there.
Well, the Daredevil and the Samaritan ones, they're all right. I can see they got a cool factor to them. They're not my cup of tea, but I can see it. They're all right. They're decent.
All right, fair enough. Well, you guys can tell I'm not a huge fan of photo covers. I used to have a lot more. And the reason was that when I was collecting Elvira, I was collecting only the photo covers. And that was until I realized, and I was just looking at one of the covers and I was like, that looks really familiar. And then I realized that they were just repurposing photo covers from her magazine that came out, a couple of decades ago. And that made me mad because it's one thing to have a photo cover. It's something else to have a reused photo cover. It's like, what could be worse than, than just a picture than to then have a reused picture that you can get on other covers. So I didn't care for that. So I got rid of my whole Elvira photo cover collection and only kept the ones that were drawn. So I have this one because it was a Kickstarter cover and I was too cheap to pay for anything but the cover A. So that's because when I support something, I only barely support it. Like, because I'm there for the free swag and all that stuff. So I'm, at some point you're overpaying. So anyway, so that's where I got that. And as Roger was talking about, or DS rather.
Yes.
So now this is a little bit cheating because it's a mix, right? So you got your Tim Holt. I mean, that's definitely a photo. And like Roger said, it's like an embellished, it's a photo, but then it's probably black and white and it's been colored, right?
Yep.
Or some sort of still of him. And then of Tim Holt. And then you've got a probably Dick Ayers drawn Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
There in the corner. So let's see if we can get a nice look at that.
That's pretty good Ghost Rider.
Yeah. That looks like a Dick Ayers. Yeah, sure does.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, so what do you call that? I mean, it's a photo, but because it's so old, it definitely still has color, right? I mean, there's some artistry to the coloring of that. It's not a straight picture.
True. True.
But,
it's sort of an amalgamation of a picture with some kind of overlapping color. So yeah, I mean, but I think that still counts. I mean, obviously it's from a still of some sort.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a photo cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least it's got some qualities that still has some art to it. And of course, a lot of people will say, photography is an art form, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that camp. So, and
Good
then of
photography
course,
is an art form.
Trick photography.
Good photography is an art form. Just taking pictures of mom, pa up by the kitchen. I wouldn't call that art.
I tell you what kills me is that I see all the time we look at Comic Man Musing. What a rascal. Said Bub can spot Dick Ayers from a mile away. Well, you shouldn't be wearing Speedos at the beach. And if you should get a Brazilian. That's what we're talking about. Gold Q is pretty good at photo covers with action shot. That's true. Land of the Giants comes to mind.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yep. Tim Holt. Love the Western comics. Thank you. Land of Giants was good. Anyway, of course, if you're going to talk Westerns.
Here comes the Rifleman. Yep. I knew that was coming.
How could you not know that was coming, Roger?
Yep, I was just watching an episode yesterday too.
You're gonna get plenty of warning on that one. Yeah, the Rifleman makes an appearance, and honestly, I think he matches with the other photos pretty well.
Let's that Rifleman up a little bit.
I don't get it.
A little bit more. There you go.
I don't see anything that those two have in common. Nothing. Zero.
Yeah, so that's like a mix of the Western, which was popular, and then sort of a contrived, humorous photo. Yeah, that's well done. It's sort of a novelty, but it holds value because it's sort of among photo covers and Westerns, sort of iconic. So yeah, they got it right there. I mean, that's
Could this be the most iconic photo cover on a comic?
No, but it's up there. I think Stan Lee on Black Rider is probably the most famous.
Yeah, I would say that's right. I mean, this is more of a novelty kind of photo cover, or a visual innuendo. But Black Rider with Stan Lee, that's got to take the cake.
Yeah, and then also the what is that? Schoolgirls one, the classic Sodi book, Reform Schoolgirl.
Oh, Reform, yeah.
Reform
that's a photo cover, and they actually, that comic, that is a Canadian figure skater who was real trashy, and she didn't care, and so she was very like shock value at the time, and she was on the cover of some other magazine, a novel or something, and they swiped that photo and used it on the Reform Schoolgirls comic book, but it's the same photo from the book that she was on.
Wow, I bet she only got paid once.
Probably, yeah, she probably did. But I mean, she was smoking and messing with her stockings, and she was like a shock value kind of girl back then. So that's why they put her on that book, I think. And then they used that same photo for the Reform Schoolgirls, and that is super famous because that was a very high-profile book during the Sodi congressional hearings with Wortham's outrage about comics. That one came up. And that one makes a good headline. It's a good front runner for his campaign against comics, because look how this woman's being portrayed and acting totally inappropriate for the 50s.
And it's a real image too. It's a real image as opposed to an artistic rendering.
Yeah, and it's so trashy for the 50s that it was an outrage to see that kids would be able to buy that and read what's in there. So and then the Rifleman, the Black Rider, and probably the Reform Schoolgirls are the top three that come to mind for me.
Well, I'll take top three. This one's not going to be in the top three, but I think it has a top two, and that's Barbed Wire movie special. And so you want to
make yourself big there, Bub, so we can see it better?
Yeah, I was going to let Barb do all the work. There you go.
Well,
Barbed Wire.
Such a great movie. So good.
Boy.
That movie is fantastic.
Yeah, oh man, I couldn't even get through the first 10 minutes.
Are you kidding? Sometimes I don't get through the first 45 seconds, but I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, see, and Roger, and you tell me that Batman and Robin is not a good pick. It blows Barbed Wire out of the water.
Well, that's true, but boy,
hold
on a second though. I mean, that's not saying much, my friend. I mean, that's very, very low watermark you're going for there, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, I want you guys to focus a little bit on these, okay? And see if you can see the common thread that I think gives photo covers the pass, okay? Here's the first one there. Here's the next one there, right? You got that one.
Right.
You got that one. And you got these two. And that's pretty much all the photo covers in my collection. What is the same about all of them?
They're all in your collection.
They're all based on cinema.
Very close. They all contain a recognizable celebrity for the day anyway.
Yeah, true.
So all the photo covers, unlike Roger's pale attempts at superhero photo covers, right?
Right.
They all contain an easily identifiable, recognizable celebrity of the day, and the books that they're in are named after them or their character. What more can you ask for? Because if you're buying Barbed Wire, the movie adaptation, there's a good chance you want to see Pam Anderson. on the cover of that.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you, for some of the younger people that may be viewing and only have heard of her name and don't really know her like those of us from the 80s. She started her career as a model, and before she was in Baywatch and Barbed Wire and running around trashing city after city with Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, way prior to that, she was a very beautiful model.
True.
And she was in Playboy, and that sort of propelled her to superstardom. And her, if you look at her in like Baywatch or Barbed Wire, compared to how she looked when she was in Playboy, they don't even look like the same girl. And it's in old man DS's mind a tragedy how she's destroyed herself over the years. And she was such a beautiful woman. I mean, and she didn't need all the stuff she went and did. And like, you know, I mean, she made a crap ton more money out of it, but I think it was a mistake. Anyway, I don't know. Every time I see her, I'm sad because I remember when she was in Playboy and she was beautiful and she didn't need to do anything about it. And then she just turned into this monstrosity of like a sex puppet, sex doll or something. And it just, I don't know. It makes me sad. That's just me. Anyway, I'm old school.
Well, other than DS's sad time looking at Pam Anderson is the only man I've ever heard say that.
I know. Well, that's why I say it, because somebody needs to say it. And if you don't hear it from me, you're never going to hear it from anybody else. I'm probably the only one.
that could be, you should have that on your t-shirt. You just be walking around. Hey, if you don't hear this from me, you're not going to hear it anywhere else.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there will be one person that listens to this, either currently listening or listen to it on the replay, that will say, I didn't know she's in Playboy. And they'll go check and they will agree with me. You'll see. But we'll never hear about it, but that person will be out there and they'll find it and they'll go look and they will agree. And they'll be like, you know what? DS was right.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
I was always more partial to Anna Nicole Smith anyway.
I think that you should have a, oh man, she wasn't all natural either. I think that you should have a public speaking forum, and you should wear a shirt that says, if you didn't hear it from me, you may not hear it, you won't hear it from anyone else. And then you should hand out t-shirts to all your watchers that says, you know, DS was right. I thought about it and DS was right.
Yeah.
I think that should work.
That's a good idea, actually.
All right.
I'll do NFT t-shirts. I'll start an NFT.
All right. So anyway, that's what I had to say about all those, is that they're all celebrities. They're all celebrities in their own titles. You're buying these books because of these celebrities, or for whatever they're worth, their character, if you will. And then after that, you know, you get what you pay for, because it's got a nice picture on the cover. So I think that's what you got there. All right. What you got, Roger? Sounds good. What do you got, DS?
Well, I was kind of wanting to hear about that Iwo Jima, but I'll put up.
So was I. Roger.
I
can't hear you, Roger.
Accidentally put himself on mute or something.
Well, he dropped out for a second.
Yeah, so Bill, Comic Mag Musings in our chat mentioned the when I was talking about the Westerns, romance comics. Yeah, so romance comics in the 50s and even into the 60s, actually, they had quite a few photo covers. They were pretty well known for photo covers. And again, I feel like that ties in with some of the photo covers you showed, Bub. Sex sells, and if you have a photo of a known sex symbol woman or actress or something, those can play well as a photo cover. And so a lot of those romance books early on have photo covers as well. And yeah, there was a time when the Westerns, the romances, there were a lot of photo covers. And it was probably much easier to get a photo onto a cover. And there wasn't the internet. There was TV shows and movies, and that was it out there. So you could easily put that on covers and it would draw people to buy the book. And I think at the time, most people didn't care about the artists drawing the comics. So a celebrity or an actor or an actress would probably draw more sales than just some random artist sitting somewhere drawing comic book covers, because nobody cared about the artist back then. Now we celebrate the artist, but back then it was just, you know, that was their 9 to 5, and half the time they didn't even sign their art. That's how important it was. You know what I mean? So yeah, romance, westerns. There's probably some other stuff I'm missing. The Gold Key stuff with some of the adventure and fantasy movie scenes. Those are cool. Those are cool too. Yeah, I think there's and what's interesting, sometimes you have like the Land Before Time or something with dinosaurs, and it's like a photo of a shot from a movie that in the movie they used some animation in the scene, so it's like a mix of everything, and it's really cool. Those are very cool, the Gold Key stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And it definitely. Oh, what happened?
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah, you're back. You're back. You're back. You're back. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of the Gold Key stuff, especially when it's putting you in the mind of some of the sci-fi shows that were out, like the, you know, Space Family Robinson and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, anything like that was important. Plus, you know, if you're doing movies and shows, I mean, there a lot of them were basically pictures, and then again, I think like Roger had said, they were like stills that were then kind of colorized. But
yeah, and comics back then, the comics back then, it was generally for kids or even into your 20s, really, and that was it. And they weren't collectible. Nobody was really saving them for the most part. They were crumple, you know, fold them, put in your back pocket, and ride around your bike and share them with your friends, trade them, read them in the playground or whatever. And nobody really cared who the artists were. It wasn't about the artists or the art. It was about the adventures and stories and what grabs you on the cover. And so if you could tie that into, you know, a show that was on TV that kids were into, it would sell even better. Whereas today, the comic medium is celebrated as a historic, traditional American art form, and artists, comic book artists, are celebrities, and they have signing. People pay them to sign anything and wait in line at cons. Like, they're celebrities now. So you can just snap photo, you can screenshot a photo off the internet. Why do you have to buy it on a comic book cover? But so now the whole paradigm has shifted. And so photo covers now, it's tough to pull off. But back then, that was a staple and probably drew better sales when they put one of these photos out.
I'm with you. All right, Roger, you've teased us for long enough.
Oh, yes. You know me,
That's
the tempter
beautiful.
that I am.
That's beautiful.
Well, that was actually sent to me by our friend Jambo Comics.
What a bum.
About a year ago. And just wanted to give a shout out to I Love Disney and Comics, Steve, who was a Marine. And again, thank you for all those in the military that, you know, put their life on the line so that we can, you know, take advantage of, you know, the liberties that we have here. So this comic is also like, I think, your Tim Holt. It was obviously a photograph, but it's been colorized somewhat with some. It looks to me like some kind of not like paint, like a paintbrush almost. Very unique looking.
Yeah.
Very unique
looks
looking.
Like model. Looks almost like a model, like model paint.
Yeah, exactly. But I compared it to the picture, and it's spot on. But it's beautiful. It's a great comic, by the way. Fabulous.
I really like that cover a lot.
I mean, oh man, and it's when I saw this that he sent it to me, I was like, because Jerry the Jitterbug and I both love the American flag covers, right? I have about a couple dozen of them, and when this came my way, I don't know if Jambo knew that, but he hit it on the nose, man. So this is a great photo cover here because it fits the title, Iwo Jima. It has, you know, historical significance. It has, it's very recognizable. It's not just some guy that, you know, that out of shape that you threw in a Captain America costume, you know?
Right.
So this is, you know, again, you know, diametrically opposed to that, right? So,
by the way, by comparison, that guy is in shape. to me.
Well,
Like,
true.
just-
Here's another.
there's no way I can wear spandex as well as he was wearing it. Yeah, as poorly as he was wearing it, there's still no way I can compete with that. All right, go ahead.
True. Well, true. Not probably not me either. But anyway, here's another one of those Dell photo covers. Johnny Mac Brown. Again, he was a popular Western character way back in the day. And I like, obviously he's peeking around his revolver. Obviously the shirt looks a little garish, I think, for if he's going
That's one
after
word for
somebody,
it.
but it sells comics, right?
It sell Happy Meals too. Look at it.
Yeah, true. Okay, then let's go to the bad stuff now, guys. Look at this thing.
Ugh.
Oh,
I gotta tell you that the cheesy bad cosplay photo covers is what ruins so many magazine covers. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is I can't even tell you how terrible this is. I mean, you do have a drawing here of some Gothic castle parts with
stock drawing that they've used on other covers.
But if this guy's supposed to be Dracula, I mean, first of all, you can tell that those are just fake teeth from the dollar store. I mean,
was it Corey Haim?
Rudy.
and look at that haircut. It's like a flat top with
Terrible.
some kind of divots over here. I mean, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, that kid's too young to be a vampire. in my
No, of
opinion.
course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. And then you have this lady here with that. There's no puncture wounds. There's just 2 streaks of red there. So is he about to bite her, or there's no blood on his mouth? So what happened there? It's so cheesy, so just corny, all kinds of whatever you want to call it, except good.
Yeah, is that a Pacifico publication? They had some wacky indies in the 80s.
This is a Marvel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, it says Marvel on the top, right?
It's filled with stories no one dares to tell.
Yeah, and that there's a reason why.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a reason. The stories inside are okay. They're average, I'd say. But this cover, I mean, I only got it to complete the set, but I was like, this thing is awful. Well, anyway, let me show you another one, which I think DS, you were talking about this one here.
Oh, yeah, I like that
yeah.
one. That one's not bad.
Yeah. This is clever. It looks like there's some kind of parade, or is that the motorcade perhaps for Kennedy? I'm not sure. But again, it has depth to it. That grayish. It's not in color.
That's terrible. That is a terrible cover.
It is.
It's not bad, but you have to remember
It's
at
not
the
bad.
time,
It's terrible.
The late 60s, there was a movement in pop art that I don't know really what it's called. I'm not like an art expert, but there was a movement that had a lot of like photo collaging done in pop art in the 60s. And that's around the time they decided to do this. So I think this is influenced by the pop art of the time. And so it probably was received better back then than it is now. And for that reason, I sort of dig it, because it's sort of like a reminder of a pop art movement from that time. And it's all right.
Maybe,
but look at the perspective on the photo is better than that Spider-Man one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the problem is the character. You got Submariner and his Speedos lifted what I can't tell whether it's 20 feet above, 100 feet above. Like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
I think the perspective is terrible. I have no idea what he's reaching for except the number 7. I mean, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's not a flying
the cityscape. If you take him out, the cityscape, I like the perspective looking down the street and the cars and people, and then there's the
if you could remove them, great. I don't know. I can't get behind it.
It's
and
not
it looks
terrible.
worse in person. If you guys have never held this book in person, it's worse in person. Like all the ones, the Daredevil one is too. Like they look good on a picture, and you're like, I think I'd like to collect that whole set of those, because like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them that are similar. Like I'd like to collect that whole set of photo covers, until you hold one and someone tells you that they want $25 for it. And that's when you're like, no, I can't do it.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I there's something about this that sort of does appeal to me, although and you're right, Bub. The perspective is off. It doesn't make any sense. He is so much brighter than everything else. You can tell he has no interaction there. It's all just, it's him, and you can tell it was just pasted on there. But still, you just didn't see this especially during this era. And like Steve was saying, in the pop art, and in fact, they used to, previous, they used to, in the corner box, they used to put pop art on here. Popular, back then, there were all kinds of little nuances of popular culture back then. But yeah, it's not great perspective, but I still enjoy it much better than this. At least they put some effort here.
Right.
Yeah, that submariner is not bad. Look, it's not a great cover, but it's not terrible. It's average, but it's unique, and it reminds me of a pop art that you would see from that time period, honestly, where they would have a drawing interspersed with photo collage, sort of, and it'd be sold as pop art.
Yeah, it's a photo collage, and James collecting.
Yeah, if you look at 60s pop art, it heavily incorporates photos. Heavily.
Look,
and even stuff that's drawn, like Warhol stuff, even is photo-ish. You know what I mean? He drew photos and sort of added to make them trippy looking. But there's a lot of photos in like 60s pop art.
Look, here's what it is.
There you go.
I am more than happy to stand as the over vocalized minority on my hatred for this cover. I'm totally good with that. You know why? Because taste is time refined. And I'm telling you, I've studied this cover for years, and it gets worse and worse every time I see it. That's what.
Yeah, I'll bet you Hialeah would agree with me.
Well, different
on the
Hey,
Pam
Jackson.
Anderson too.
Yeah.
Me and Hialeah
undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Rob. You got another book to punish us with, or is that your last one?
I got one more for photo.
Yeah,
too.
I do. Well, I do. Okay, I got two. I mean, two. Well, yeah. Let me show you these two. Bob, I know you have
All
these,
right.
but I don't know if you were.
I don't know. I might not anymore. I did a photo cover purge about a year ago. I do have that one, yeah.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
But you have the Spider-Woman run. Yeah, you have the Spider-Woman
yes,
run. This is
yeah.
I don't know if this really qualifies per se. The background looks to me like it's taken from stills of some sort, and then you have the foreground characters which are actually drawn in, and I believe the wall and the ground and all this is, so it looks like it's like pasted on there. It's a little bit odd, but to me, I dig it. I think it's cool. It's creative. It's like, like when you were in school, and I don't know if you guys did this when you were in arts class, but they used to say, take your favorite things from magazines and paste it and make a bottle, with all the different things like that, those kind of things, those collages.
Yeah. I handed that in no matter what the assignment was. No matter what the assignment was, I took a bottle of Elmer's glue, poured it down, and smashed a bunch of cutouts from magazines all over it. Fredericks of Hollywood always got me the best grade. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, it just kind of reminds me of that. So there's a nostalgia aspect about it to me, because I didn't cut up my comics for that, but I did cut up magazines like back then. There were a lot of those like teen magazines and those sci-fi magazines and all that stuff. I would get them out of those. Not mine. They were lying around there in the art room.
Those look like the OG Universal Monsters too. Like the original. Is that Bela Lugosi vampire?
Yep.
They are.
Yeah,
And they did not get credit. They did not get a permission for this one.
Yeah, I don't think they did. No.
Yeah, they didn't get permission for this.
No.
And they were.
Yeah, and you got that
trouble.
You got that lathering Werewolf by Night there. Look at that slobbering. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
that's just. And then you got the Lon Chaney werewolf over here.
Yeah, like that's cool. Yeah,
so,
yeah, I like it. It's
kind
of weird with all the empty space on the bottom corner.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but I just kind of dig it. Okay, and here's another one. Here's another one that it's not as bad as those other ones because it has some creativity behind it, right? Obviously you have the Spider-Woman here with not exactly the best looking costume. Even the corner box is a photo. That's the See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. But you do have a lot of her rogues gallery here: Gypsy Moth, Tatterdemalion, Werewolf by Night, and they're. It looks to me like they're. Some of them are somewhat like maybe photos, but they're drawn over a little bit.
Yeah.
They don't look like just just people in costume. Down here.
Wasn't that a Cher song?
Shroud.
Wasn't that a Cher song? Gypsy,
What?
Moths and Thieves.
Gypsies,
Moths,
Tramps and Thieves, wasn't it? Gypsy,
Oh,
Tramps,
I'm sorry.
Gypsy, Tramps and
Yeah,
Thieves.
I think you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. I'm not an expert in that era. So even though this is a photo cover, at least she's pasted up against the wall. Obviously, this was a floor, and they just straightened it up so they make it vertical. But still, it had some creativity behind it, so I don't mind it too much. Others may differ, right, in opinion, but at least they put some effort. It's not just a guy they threw in a costume in a closet and took a picture. Had some creativity behind it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that one though. It's pretty
I'm not
terrible,
saying
Roger.
it's my favorite.
I like it a little better after you talked about it, but it went from like a 1 out of 10 to like a 1.5 out of 10.
Oh well, at least I got a 0.5 out of you.
But yeah, look, the arrangement, they did do a cool arrangement on there, but that Spider-Woman costume, I can't even with that thing.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's not
And that terrible wig. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why and photo covers just don't work well for superheroes because the costumes are difficult to replicate and not look super corny. And that's
the first time I ever saw like realistic costumes that were actual like real costumes that were built that were as good or better than what was drawn in the comics it never happened in history until the MCU, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even like Superman's an easy one to pull off, and even Christopher Reeve's Superman costume is pretty funky. But even the Hulk, all you have to do is make the guy. They cheated so much with the Hulk. They went out and got a literal Hulk to play the Hulk, so they didn't have to use fake muscles. And then they just painted him green and extended his brow, and even that didn't work good. And then MCU comes along and like Iron Man costumes, like it's legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
So,
there's the Dazzler.
There's the Dazzler. Yeah.
We're all waiting for this one too, Roger. What took you so long?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you have every appearance of Dazzler ever?
Well, no, in the Bronze Age. Once she joined the X-Men, she kind of really changed from a kind of a struggling singer trying to figure out how to incorporate her powers into her life, and then now she just became a straight superhero. So that was a very different.
Dazzler is like, and I think this is probably around the same time. It's like Jane Fonda workout gear is what the Dazzler is wearing. Like they could. Yeah. This is a pretty simple cover. Give her something snazzy, and like, what is that she's wearing? It's like Jane Fonda.
And of course, they obscured her face because she probably doesn't look anything like Dazzler, and they would have to put that green makeup all over her, which would probably look ultra ridiculous. So at least they got that part,
Yeah. You're right.
But photo covers for as I told Bub in the chat before, generally speaking, no bueno. They're lazy. They just smack of desperation to me. I much prefer, something that had at least some kind of creativity, even if it's simple art. I'd prefer it over these things.
Well, I've got one that.
Hold on. I'm gonna jump out of turn just so I can show a book that addresses what you were just talking about. I think this is the first time a costume was done well and on a cover. And that would be Flash TV special #1. I thought that the 90s Flash costume was perfect and better than all the other representations of the Flash costume since.
I mean,
it was pretty good. It was pretty good. He was a bit thick. He was a bit thick, I thought, for the Flash. But other than that, it was pretty good.
I liked that about it. It was perfect. I think it was perfect. And Russ had mentioned let's see if I can find Russ. That he had Superboy 1 based on the TV show. Now that Superboy 1 is the first time that DC ever did a photo cosplay cover. That was their first one. Or in this case, it was based off TV show, but a superhero in costume, right? So that was their first one, based on TV or movie or anything like that. That was DC's first, and this is the second. And there's quite a little bit of time between them too. So there you go.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I remember that Superboy cover, but I didn't know that was the first for that.
Yeah, that's the first DC television show cover or any kind of photo cover, you know.
That's interesting.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that. Well, great.
Yeah, you know, they never put Christopher Reeve on a comic cover.
Did they never put Adam West on a comic book cover?
No. As a photo?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I mean
he's on magazine covers.
I can't think of one offhand. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm surprised they didn't do that actually, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of one offhand. No.
Yeah. So I just want to throw that out there that I think there may be one exception. But other than that, I agree with DS until the modern MCU kind of costuming, the real professionalism put behind the costuming, hard to get a good cosplay type cover going.
And they used a lot of special effects in the MCU, obviously. Nobody's questioning that, but they have legit costumes that were built for those characters when they're walking around interacting. And the costumes they built are awesome. They even improved on what was in the comics, just changing the colors, making them a slight tone darker for Thor, and really, really awesome costumes. The MCU nailed it. Only ones before that I think came close would be like the Michael Keaton Batman, which was still left a bit to be desired, but it was okay.
Yeah, he couldn't turn his neck is the problem.
Right, yeah. It still was too stiff. And then the MCU came along, and then they did the Christian Bale Batman, the Christopher Nolan movies. Those Batman outfits and costumes and all the tech and everything, those are awesome too. That's the only thing that stands up to the MCU, though.
All right, you're up.
All right, so this is not. Here's the thing with this. This is from 1955. This is the last pre-code issue in this run, and it's clearly not a photo cover. But I believe with all my analysis that this is a photo reference to some degree. Maybe there was some stuff added or embellished, but I can't find a photo out there, and I've searched. But I really feel like this is a photo reference that was mostly swiped by Russ Heath. It's just too photorealistic to be just completely drawn. I really feel like this is a photo cover that he used for reference, and so essentially would be a photo, but he drew it. But I can't prove it because I can't find it. But I mean, you know what I mean? It looks too much like a photo.
Yeah, you're right. That first guy right there, boy, I tell you, without looking closely, it looks like a photo that perhaps was drawn over a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And then even like the rooftops and the flag and just the background, this guy crouching down over here.
Yeah.
And the depth of it is really quite striking.
Now
especially for that
he
time.
had a really good talent for that kind of perspective and to look at all the angles and so forth.
All right, then let's start counting Heath's impossible shadow. How many do we get?
Oh, there's probably quite a few in here. I mean, yeah, all over the place. He probably added.
But I have to admit that does look.
This is probably added in, but not necessarily. But even this guy, look all the way back in. Look how far back it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could be he used reference for that.
The
You're right. It could
that,
be he used
that
some
really
kind of
gets
reference.
me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
He did so many war covers that I wouldn't doubt if he had some kind of archive of army photos, archives or something, and
so
that he used for reference at least somewhat.
Yeah, and I've looked. If anybody ever comes across a photo that you think this was taken from, let me know, because I'd love to keep a copy of the photo with the comic.
I'm gonna sell it to you for 37 gems on Vivi. So I'm gonna screenshot. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I have the original photo. I'm gonna take a picture of it and sell you the rights to that photo, even though you can't use it for any commercial purposes or anything else you want to. I still own it, but you have exclusive rights to not use it. There you go.
Well, this is one I normally wouldn't keep a 3.5 on a war book. I try to get like mid grades on these Adam Age war books, but it's golden age type 50s Korean War era stuff. But this one is actually pretty tough to find in good shape. And this is only a 3.5, but the colors on this are really good. And it's a very well presenting copy, and it's a very tough issue to find. So I've just held on to this one, and I just really like it. I just really want to find the photo to go with it. And maybe there isn't one, I don't know. But I mean, you guys can make your own judgment. I really feel like this is a photo reference. So for me, this is the closest thing I have to a photo cover. And Heath's work is very similar to this, but there's a more of a surreal quality to a lot of his art than this has. This is more realistic than some of the Heath stuff. A lot of the other Heath stuff, even in this genre, is a bit more surreal and dreamlike, although still sort of realistic, but heavy shadowing and
very heavy
cool perspectives. This one is a little grittier and more realistic than his usual stuff. So I don't know. Anyway, interesting cover and not one you see very often, and really, really cool piece of art, regardless whether it's a photo reference or not.
True.
Well, you can tell we've gone over an hour because we've begun the mutiny. And everyone is fussing about the lack of Jennifer Love Hewitt's appearance on the show. Hey, for a while there, she was available on whatever that service is where you pay a celebrity to do something for you, give you like 10 seconds of a hello. But sadly, she's busy again. So, and she stopped returning my requests. So what are you gonna do? they were becoming increasingly bold. So there you go. Congratulations, everybody. There's your Jennifer Love Hewitt for the night. All right. Well, we've done it again, folks. We've wasted some good time of some good folks. You guys got about 10 minutes to go pee and then settle in for a nice long Olympic style episode of what's that show, Roger? Troy's talking about?
Kamagories. Yes,
Kamagories. Yeah, that's the one. Kamagories.
Yeah, Kamagories.
With the amazing intro created by our very own J Hood Creative.
J Hood Creative.
So check that out. And then, so we're going to try and restructure the show so we don't interfere too much with that, mostly because they keep inviting me on the show and I can't participate because I've got this show going on. And they keep saying, "Oh, Bub, we need your help. Everybody, these other guys keep winning and their books are far inferior to yours. Your style, your comedy, your panache, your Jacques Penet, we gotta get it back on here." So, in an effort to appease the masses, I'll probably make another appearance on Kamagories this year. So I got to get ready for that. All right. So there you go.
That's a heavily redacted invitation from John Comics with Kids. I heard something like, "Hey, listen, we don't want you on here, but you know what I mean? We want to have some kind of controversy. So come on when you can." That's what I heard. But, I could be wrong.
Well, they always want to put me against the same people. Every time I'm on that show, which I used to go against JP, but when he started running the show, he refused to go against me. And then they used to put me up against Kenny all the time, and not near Mint, Rob Worst. They always put me up against those two guys, like that was their favorite thing. I was like, oh man, I really like Kenny, but Rob, whatever. I'm just kidding. He unsubbed years ago.
He's impressive on that show though, because he has like a million comics and he's well organized. He finds whatever he wants immediately.
Yes, very well organized.
He does a good job.
Very well organized.
Yeah, and Kenny has very few books, but they're all really good. So that's how he runs them. Thank you, Brett. humility is my third best quality at which I excel. So I appreciate that, brother. All right. He'll go up against me. Yeah, I bet you will.
Doesn't say much for your first two, I must say.
Yeah, that is true. I appreciate that, Roger. I'm gonna make sure I clean the car out extra well for you when you get in next time.
Okay.
You won't have to push aside any
I appreciate
dirty diapers.
that.
DS, what do you got coming up on your fine channel or any of the fine channels under which you'll be gracing?
Well, I have Golden Guys on its new time, which is Thursday nights at 10 p.m. on Comic Core. And we usually do like a bi-weekly schedule. So we're probably going to do it this week. And that's a fun show. It tends to go fairly long, but it's a nice banter. We talk about mainly the two topics we talk about the most probably are just like the market from an investing standpoint and Golden Age comics. But there's a lot of other cool stuff that comes in. So even if you're not into either of those two topics in comics, we talk about a variety of other things.
Love it. Good stuff. Good show. Good hosts.
Yeah.
And the best thing going on that channel. So hands down. Love it.
Well,
all right.
By far.
That's good stuff. All right, Roger, what do you got going
on? Thursday is Graders Notes on Genome Presents channel. There's going to be no Golden Age. There's going to be no investing. There's only going to be a deep dive and evisceration of a comic. In this case, it will be West Coast Avengers 69, I do believe. That the dust up between U.S. Agent and Hawkeye, and that will be on Genome Presents channel.
That does sound
and every 2 weeks after that. Yeah,
I like a good.
It is a good issue to go on Graders Notes because you'll have to see the episode to know about that. I'm also.
Well, I can't wait to ruin your curve with my grades. I love doing that.
Yeah, you do. You come up with the weirdest grades sometimes. I tell you, I don't get it. But anyway, you are who you are, my friend. I've come to just accept you. Sort of like hurricanes.
Yeah.
So I'm also doing my complete Captain America quest. I did the first 100 issues, almost 100, up to the Kirby. When Kirby came back on 193. And I'm going to be doing all of those on a weekly basis until I get to the end, 454. So it's 355 issues of Captain America that I finished that run, and I read them all, and I really do just adore that run. So I'm just going to 15 minutes, real quick, I'll give you a few little tidbits of what and all that. And lastly, in a few weeks or so, I'm going to be doing a Road to 100 subscriber contest because it's going to be 2 years since I did my 1K contest, if you remember, Bub, where you won that X-Men 266. So I figure it's time for me to do another one. So that's what I have in the back burner for right now.
Do you need that comic back?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. He's going to be giving away a different comic this year, everybody.
Different comics, yes.
Different comic. Sounds good. I don't have a whole lot going on, but I got so much going on. Oh my gosh. I've got so many hauls to film and show off. I've picked up a huge book from my collection for me. It has sentimental value. It also is, you guys know I like to collect some mailaways and giveaway type stuff. So it's in that vein. And it's a huge book for my collection. It checks all the boxes, and it's a book that I've wanted for probably 25 years or so.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So maybe longer, almost 30. You know what? 30 years. I think I could easily say it's a book I've wanted for 30 years.
I got to give it some thought.
Oh, yeah. Look forward to that.
30 years old. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And I picked one up, and it's been burning a hole in my hands wanting to show it off. So can't wait to do that. And then also I've got a huge vinyl haul to show off, vinyl records. I picked up an awesome Funko Pop I can't wait to show off. So a lot of good stuff going on over here in Bub's World. Just so you know, there will not be a No Faces chat next week, because it's Valentine's Day next Monday. And most of us, some of us, all of us will be off doing things that evening, or staying in that evening. But we don't want to split our time away from our significant others. So
no, not a good idea for that day. No.
Yeah, not smart. Not smart.
No, not smart. No.
So all right. So we will catch you all in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel. For the No Faces comic chat at 7 Eastern on old Bub's World. And so remember, look at DS, he's got to go. All right. Remember to Roger, what do you say to the fine folks at home?
Be kind to each other, be blessed to be back.
And DS, what do you got to say for yourself?
Make sure you do your homework.
And I'm telling everyone to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Go watch Comic Gories. Good night.